We do have, Wichita has a judge in family law, and before he became a judge, he was a family law attorney that would not even consider filing for a divorce for his client until they went through counseling first. And that's an option. But for him, it was not, because he's a very strong Christian attorney and judge. But we've gotten away from that too. The courts say, yeah, you know, when we go with the no-fault divorce laws, you don't have to prove that anybody was unfaithful. You don't have to prove that anything. It's just, well, we're not compatible anymore.
Yeah.
That's all the courts, you know,
And
and why even put that in there now?
And we're not compatible anymore probably means, you know, I met somebody the other day that looks pretty darn good. You know, and so I just don't feel compatible over here, so I think I'll go over there.
But it's not something new.
Yeah.
When I was in grade school in Eureka, I remember there was an attorney there, had a small practice. And he was building a garage, and somebody said, "Will you match your doors, Dave?" He said, "Well, as soon as I can get another couple divorce cases, I'll have money for the doors on my garage."
Oh.
It was not a joke.
Well, yes, but my parents were divorced, and I was the only kid in my class. I think now there was one other girl whose mother had a different name than they did. And, you know, that was really uncomfortable. I mean, they always called my mom by the wrong name, you know. And it was unusual.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's just in marriage. I think morality it's more than just marriages. I mean, it's down to our kids in high school.
High school?
Junior high, yeah, junior high.
Sixth grade.
We're, you know, it's just that there are no morals taught anywhere. I don't think they're even taught at home anymore.
How many couples are not married?
Yeah. So it's not just, you know, in marriages and divorce, it's just
Well, when
rampant.
Paul refers to these examples way back there in their history, Paul's writing in the 1st century A.D., about 50 A.D., 55 A.D., that he writes this. Well, he's talking about examples that happened back, probably about 1400 B.C., 1500 years before. And he says these things happened to them back there as examples for us today to take heed. So if you're thinking, if you think you're standing firm, be careful that you don't fall. I want us to look at these next few verses before we leave. No temptation. And what he's talking about,
Where are you?
the people I'm back in 1 Corinthians 10.
About 13.
The people he's writing this to have a tendency to go back to their old ways, to go back to those old pagan idol temples, to worship there, to bow down there, to eat those feasts, and to take part in the revelry that goes along with those services, those worship services in those temples. And Paul is saying, don't do that. I know you are tempted, he says. But let's look at verse 13. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I want you to look at it. Maybe it's never happened in your life. No temptation has seized you except what is common to man. I mean, you're not the only one that's ever faced this temptation, Paul is saying. These are common temptations to participate in those kind of immoral activity and revelry. And God is faithful. You're tempted like everybody else is tempted, for crying out loud. We're all tempted. It's not a sin to be tempted. So don't feel guilty about being tempted. What's a sin is if you yield to temptation. Remember the hymn? We took that out of our hymnals how long ago? Yield not to temptation, for yielding is sin. It's not the temptation that's a sin. It's the yielding that's a sin. God is faithful. He will not, I want to know if you agree with this. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. You believe that?
If you're willing to go to Him for help.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes I've looked at that and I think, God, you've overestimated me.
You didn't pray.
You have a higher opinion of me than I have. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, here's the key. He will also provide a way out so that you can stand up under the temptation. On the way to church this morning, I heard a song. It's an old gospel song written by Stuart Hamlin. You know who Stuart Hamlin is, or was? Stuart Hamlin was a friend of the stars in Hollywood. He was the leading DJ in Hollywood. Loved to drink and smoke and run around. I mean, he had a great reputation in Hollywood. Until 1948, and a young preacher named Billy Graham came to Los Angeles, and held a crusade. It was supposed to have been 2 weeks long. It lasted 6 weeks and beyond. It was his first major crusade. Stuart Hamlin, along with some others like Dale Evans, Roy Rogers' wife, were converted in that crusade. Stuart Hamlin completed it at 180, and he began to write gospel songs. One of them that he wrote, probably you've heard, is "It Is No Secret What God Can Do." That was written by Stuart Hamlin. He was telling John Wayne, the story is, he was telling John Wayne about his experience in conversion to Christ in the Billy Graham crusade. He was telling John Wayne about all the miraculous things that God had done. And John Wayne said, it's no secret what God can do. You ought to write a song about that, Stuart. And so he did. I think that night, so according to the story. Anyway, he wrote this song called Only He Knows. Only He Knows. Only God knows. And in that song, he's talking to God, and he says to God, why do I have to bear such a heavy cross every day? Why do I have to bear such a heavy cross every day? And God's answer is, because I trust you. Because you are trustworthy. Now, what does that answer mean? What does that say to you? The guy's down in the dumps and asking, why is life so hard? Why do I have this heavy, heavy cross to bear every day? And God says, because I can trust you to bear that heavy cross for me.
Because he knows that that person will be the one to spread the word.
Yeah. Because you are trustworthy. I let you bear that cross for me because I trust you. Now that fits that verse, I think. God will not let you be tempted beyond what he knows you can bear, because he's going to provide a way for you to carry that heavy cross, whatever it is.
But doesn't it also say in the Bible that if you think it, it's the same as doing it?
That's kind of what Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
You've heard
so-
it said, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say to you, if you've even thought it in your mind,
Yeah.
get that out of your mind.
But he said it was the same as committing the sin, did he
Pretty
not?
close. Yeah. Well, we're going to take up number 11, chapter 11 next week, because chapter 11, in chapter 11, Paul gives us the words that we use traditionally in the church for Holy Communion. It's not in the Gospels, it's in Paul's letters. We will meet here now, from now on, I guess. We'll meet in here. Your teacher next week will be young Dr. Daniel. I will not be here next week. So Daniel will lead you next week.
Is he picking up?
So write your questions down during the week.
Is he teaching from Corinthians?
I don't know. I got to talk to him to see if he wants to do it. Probably not.
Okay.
He'll choose his own direction.
Question about Epworth is preaching there.
I don't know the answer to that. He's not preaching there, unless it's by closed circuit. I don't know. I think they have a sign. St. Mark's has always had 2 or 3 or 4 pastors pastors who've gone from that church into the next. And I think they've got 2 or 3 assistants on the staff, and one of those is assigned to help. I don't think there is anything left of that work. There are a few members who stay. Most of them have either quit going to church or they've moved their membership status. A few of them did stay. See? And the idea is this is to be a satellite in that community. This is where they would not do, and it's why they set back. They would not reach out to their community. It was transitioning rapidly 25 years ago. They would not reach out to the community like they should. And most of the people either were different from that community, socio-economically different from that community. And a lot of them have moved away and we're driving in. The reason why I know this, one of the reasons I was curious. I really don't know the answer as to just how they're doing that. Well, that's what I've heard from the people who, 1 or 2 that stay. They said, this guy is really, have you ever? I've never heard of him. When would I do that? The ones that, well, that's truly, that's usually the way the black pastor does things. And they can get away with that because the attitude in the black community toward their pastor is vastly different.
That's a shame because I wish we had.
Yeah, in our church. Just a minute, sir. Oh.